Hello, grade 8 students. Nice to see you back. Once again, this is Nilos Manatad, your physical education teacher. Get ready for today. We are going to learn fun indoor recreational activities. But first, here are the classroom rules that you must follow. Be on time. Take down notes while watching or listening. Avoid unnecessary comments on the chat box. Avoid hate speech. And here are the competencies you need to achieve in this lesson. Undertakes physical activity and physical fitness assessment. Review goals based on assessment results. Execute the skills involved in the sports. Display tolerance and acceptance of individuals with varying skills and abilities. As we continue, our topic for today is the indoor recreational activity. What is indoor recreational activities? These are the things that you do for fun and enjoyment in the comfort of your home, gym, or any other covered area. Since it is inside of your home, let's have the chess. Look at the pictures of chess pieces. Identify each picture by writing the letters of your answers on your answer sheet, or you may comment it below. What chess piece is on the picture? A. Bishop. B. Knight. C. Queen. D. Rook. You have 5 seconds to answer. That's right. This is D. Rook. What chess piece is this? A. Bishop. B. Knight. C. Pawn. D. Queen. B. Knight is correct. That's coming along nicely. This piece is called A. King. B. Knight. C. Pawn. D. Rook. You're doing a good job. This is pawn. For number 4, what piece is it? A. Bishop. B. King. C. Pawn. D. Queen. Exactly. The answer is B. King. How about the number 5? A. Knight. B. King. C. Pawn. D. Queen. Excellent. This is D. Queen. And lastly, what chess piece is in the picture? A. Bishop. B. Knight. C. Pawn. D. Rook. Good work! This is A. Bishop. What is chess? Where it is originated? How to play chess? Let us answer this question as we explore the game chess. Chess is a 2-player strategy game. The course of the game is divided into 3 phases: the opening, middle game, and the end game. Sound exciting, isn't it? It is one of the world's most popular games, played by millions worldwide. Chess is believed to have originated in India during the Gupta Empire. It is called Chaturanga, which translates as the four divisions of military. Four divisions of military are the infantry, the cavalry, the elephants, and the chariots. These are the pawn, the knight, the bishop, and the rook of the modern chess. This game was considered a game reserved only for the kings and members of the upper classes when the chess reached Europe. The International Chess Federation, or the FIDE, is the governing body of the sport chess. Our country has a rich history too. Rizal was an avid chess player. He even played against his Guardia Civil when he was in prison. Mr. Eugene Torre was the first Asian Grandmaster, and just recently made history again as the first Asian male to be conducted in the World Chess Hall of Fame in the World Chess Federation. National Master Florencio Campomanes has been the only non-European president of the International Chess Federation during his term. Karpov defended his crown against Korchay in Baguio City in 1978. Even the 30th Chess Olympiad was held in our country in 1992. The chess prodigy Wesley So, who is currently in the United States of America, is also a Filipino. He became a super grandmaster and achieved second in the world ranking. He ranked number 8 in the world ranking as of 2022. Here are the chess rules.
Chess rules for kids and beginners. The chessboard is made up of 8 rows and 8 columns for a total of 64 squares of alternating colors. Each square of the chessboard is identified with a unique pair of a letter and a number. Both players sit opposite to each other. Make sure lighter-colored square should be in the bottom right-hand side for each player. Let's set up the board. At the beginning of the game, the pieces are arranged for each side. 1 king, 1 queen, 2 rooks, 2 bishops, 2 knights, and 8 pawns. Total 16 pieces each side. Your queen should be the same color as the color of your square. White queen, for instance, on white or the lighter square, and the black queen on the black or darker square. Check and make sure each piece should be facing each other. The king across from the king, and the queen across from the queen.
There are 8 rows of squares called ranks, and denoted with number 1 to 8, and 8 columns called files, and denoted with letter A to H. There are a total of 64 squares. Chess has 16 pieces. The 8 pawns, 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops, a queen, and a king. The queen color is the same color of each square. For example, the white queen should be in the white square and the black queen should be on the black square. What are the moves in chess? Let's find out.
Each type of piece has its own method of movement. King. King can move exactly 1 square horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. Once in every game, each king is allowed to make a special move, known as castling. Queen. The queen is the most powerful piece of chess. Queen can move any number of vacant squares diagonally, horizontally, or vertically. Rook, or castle. Rook can move any number of vacant squares vertically or horizontally. Just to make it easy to understand, rook moves in a plus pattern. So rook can move any number of squares, up, right, left, or down. It also is moved while castling. Bishop. Bishop can move any number of vacant squares in any diagonal direction. Just to make it easy to understand, bishop moves in an X pattern, knight. Knight can move one square along any rank or file and then at an angle. The knight's movement can also be viewed as an L, or 7, laid out at any horizontal or vertical angle. Knight is the only piece that can jump over other pieces. For example, if there were any pieces right next to the knight can simply jump over these pieces and move. And if there is any piece on the square, the knight can simply capture that piece. Pawns. Pawns are the smallest, weakest pieces of chess. Pawns can move forward one square if that square is unoccupied. If it has not yet moved, the pawn has the option of moving 2 squares forward provided both squares in front of the pawn are unoccupied. A pawn cannot move backward. Pawns are the only pieces that capture differently from how they move. They can capture an enemy piece on either of the 2 spaces adjacent to the space in front of them, i.e. the 2 squares diagonally in front of them, but cannot move to these spaces if they are vacant. The pawn is also involved in the 2 special moves, en passant and promotion.
The king is the most important piece and it moves one square diagonally, horizontally, and vertically. The queen is the most powerful piece. It can move any vacant square horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. The rook or castle can move to one vacant square horizontally and diagonally or in a plus pattern. The bishop moves in an X pattern. The knight can move one square and add an angle, or it can be viewed as letter L or number 7 pattern. It is the only piece that can jump over other pieces. The pawn is the smallest and weakest piece, and it moves to square forward. It has an option to move 2 squares forward on its first movement, as long as those squares are unoccupied. Pawn can move diagonally only to capture the opposing piece. Pawn might be the weakest, but it can be promoted.
Promotion. When a pawn reaches the other end of the board, it can be changed for any other piece of its own color, except the king. This is called pawn promotion. So a pawn can be promoted to a queen, rook, a bishop, or a knight. A pawn is promoted by removing the pawn from the board and replacing the chosen piece on the promotion square. En passant. It is a special type of capture that pawns can make under very specific circumstances. This pawn capture can occur immediately after a player moves a pawn 2 squares forward from its starting position, and an enemy pawn could have captured it had the same pawn moved only 1 square forward. The opponent captures the just moved pawn as if taking it as it passes through the first square. The resulting position is the same as if the pawn had only moved 1 square forward and the enemy pawn had captured normally. The en passant capture must be done on the very next turn, or the right to do so is lost. Such a move is the only occasion in chess in which a piece captures but does not move to the square of the captured piece.
Take note, if the pawn reaches the other end of the board, it can be promoted to any other pieces of your choice. The en passant is a one capture of pawn but must be made on the very next turn, or the right to do so will be lost. Are there any special moves in chess? Let's watch more.
At most once in every game, each king is allowed to make a special move. known as castling. When player moves his king 2 squares over to one side, and then move the rook from that side right corner next to the king on the opposite side. For castling, a player must follow these few conditions. 1. It must be the king's first move. 2. It must be that rook's first move. 3. There shouldn't be any other pieces in between the king and rook. 4. The king shouldn't be in checkmate, nor pass through a checkmate.
Remember, the castling that involves the king and the rook have a few conditions. 1. It must be the king's first move. 2. It must be the rook's first move. 3. There shouldn't be any other piece in between the king and the rook. 4. The king should not be in or passing through a checkmate. Let's find out how to start the game.
Let's start the game. The player who has the white pieces always starts a game of chess. Choose any of your pieces that is able to move and put it in its new space. Each turn consists of moving one piece, one time only. After the player with the white piece takes their turn, play alternates to the player with the black pieces. Capture your opponent's pieces. Capturing pieces means landing on the same space as an opponent's piece and removing them from the game. Try to capture your opponent's stronger pieces, like their queen, rooks, and bishops, to make their turns less powerful. What is checkmate? The ultimate aim in the game chess is delivering a checkmate, trapping your opponent's king. Checkmate happens when a king is placed in check and there is no legal move to escape. When this happens, say checkmate out loud to declare the end of the game. Let your opponent double check if they can make a move before declaring yourself the winner. How to win the game. Checkmate ends the game, and the side whose king was checkmated loses. Games may also end in a draw if neither player can force a checkmate, such as if the kings are the only pieces left on the board. There are few rules for a draw. If there are enough pieces on the board to force a checkmate, for example, a king and a bishop versus a king. If the same exact position is repeated 3 times, this is not necessarily 3 times in a row. 50 consecutive moves have been played while neither player has moved a pawn or captured any piece. If a player's turn is to move, he is not in check but has no legal moves. This situation is called stalemate, and it ends the game.
Always remember that in chess, white moves first. One piece movement at a time in alternating manner. You can capture the opposing piece by removing it in the board and replacing your capturing piece on the square where it is located. Checkmate happens when the king is placed in check and there is no legal move to escape. Chess is a gentleman's game, so you have to say check or checkmate to advise your opponent that the king is under threat. Draw occurs in the following scenario. When there are no enough pieces to capture the king, the white king and the bishop versus the black king, for instance. Sorry, sir. Okay, malitono ko. Ulit. Draw occurs in the following scenario. When there are no enough pieces to capture the king. The white king and the bishop versus the black king, for instance. Another scenario, if you had repeated 3 exact moves positions. Or if you have 50 consecutive moves without any capture. The stalemate happens when the king is not in check but had no legal moves. And these are the benefits of playing chess. Chess increases the mathematical and scientific skills of the students. It also enhances the problem-solving skills, concentration ability, and logical thinking ability. It develops a sense of confidence and self-worth. It improves communication skills. It can give a lesson on hard work and commitment. It provides free entertainment and relaxation. It keeps the mind healthy. It is an indoor recreational activity that can strengthen family relationships. Let's have an activity. Write the letter of your answer on your answer sheet, or you may comment your answer on the comment box. You have 5 seconds to do so. Ready? Here it goes. What is the most powerful piece of chess? A. Bishop. B. Knight. C. Queen. D. Rook. That's great. C. Queen is correct. What is the move that involves the king and the rook of the same color? A. Castling. B. En passant. C. Promotion. D. Stalemate. Yes, it's A. Castling. Aren't you proud of yourself? 3. What's the most important piece, but one of the weakest in chess? A. Bishop. B. King. C. Queen. D. Rook. Wow, you got it right. King is the answer. Who was the first Asian Grandmaster of chess? A. Eugene Torre. B. Florencio Campomanes. C. Garry Kasparov. D. Wesley So. Wonderful! He was Grandmaster Eugene Torre. What chess piece moves 1 or 2 squares at a time and can be promoted to any piece? A. Bishop. B. Pawn. C. Queen. D. Rook. You seems to know it all. Yes, it is B. Pawn. I want you to think a bit, to remember this, that recreational activities allows improvement of your memory, focus, creativity, and planning skills. Thus, indulging in recreational activities like chess can result in your physical, mental, social, moral, and emotional health growth. For the performance, we have the beginner and the advanced. For the beginner, identify the position on each piece in chess. Use the given equivalent letters of each piece. For the king, letter K, queen is Q, and so on. Write the letter on the board provided by your teacher. For the advanced, using the given equivalent letters of each chess piece, identify the position of each piece in chess. Write the letters and the number of the piece that corresponds to its placement or location on the chessboard. Take note that the symbol of pawn is the intersection of the letters and the number where it is located. For example, the phone is located on rank number 2 and file H. The phone therefore is H2. Knight is NC3 if it's positioned in the rank 3 and file C. Letter N symbolizes knight. K is for the king. This is the rubric to guide you in doing this activity. Submit your work to your Mapeh teacher. Let me leave you these words. The body heals with play. The mind heals with laughter. And the spirit heals with joy. Once again, this is Sir Baron Manatad of Kanumay West National High School, wishing that you are always safe and healthy. And remember, anuman ang sitwasyon, tuloy ang edukasyon.